Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr., y'all. He just had an interview with Andre Ward. Man, what an interview. I thought they touched on some pretty good topics. I really did think they touched on some really good topics, man. I think that Errol Spence Jr. basically, he admitted some of his wrongs by not living right, by not, doing the right thing, by not sort of say just doing what he need to do in a sport in order for him to be successful in a sense. You know what I mean? So he talks about that, but then he also talks about Terence Bud Crawford and how leading up to the fight that he did not spar 6 weeks leading up to the fight against Terence Bud Crawford. Bro, that's a no-no. That's a no-no. Everybody knows Spence right here, my favorite fighter. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite fighters. But I know that not sparring leading up to the fight against Terence Crawford is not good. It is not good at all. It's not good. It's not good to not be able to spar 6 weeks up until the fight. That's not good. And he goes on to say, Errol Spence goes on to say that he also had to get it approved to get a chromosome shot in his rib. Now, there was a lot of speculation that Errol Spence Jr. was not himself the day he had the fight with Terence Bud Crawford. Everybody said that, man, that is not the real Spence. That is something is wrong with Spence, right? So, did he truly have a rib injury? It doesn't take anything away from what Terence Crawford was able to do. Terence Crawford, he didn't suffer any injuries. He didn't suffer any injuries. Terence Crawford trained like Terence Crawford was supposed to train. And he did what Terence Crawford did, what Terence Crawford was supposed to do at the end of the day. He did what he was supposed to do. Now, but on the other hand, Errol suffered some sort of rib injury, so much so that he had to get a shot of chromosome in his rib that he stated on the Art of War. Now, I'm not saying that Errol made an excuse or anything like that, but the question was, to a lot of people was that, was Errol Spence the true Errol Spence that we once knew, that he once fought? No, he wasn't. But that doesn't take anything away from Crawford, because Crawford did what Crawford was supposed to do. He did what he was supposed to do. But Errol Spence Jr. not sparring 6 weeks up until the fight is diabolical. Hey, what's up, guys? This your boy LD,
the Kid,
and you tuning into Likeable Dialogue. He also goes on to say that Derrick James didn't provide the sparring partners. He didn't provide southpaws for the southpaw stands that Terence Crawford brings to the ring. He also goes on to say that they didn't go over blocking the jab, blocking the jab. And one question that I wish Andre Ward would have asked Errol Spence Jr. is, I wish he would have asked Errol Spence Jr., Spence, do you think that maybe in the future, if Bud would come back for one more fight, if Bud was to come back for one more fight, this due to the simple fact that you went against the grain against your people, you and Bud can get on the phone and talk one last time and to have one last fight. I wish Andre Ward would have asked this one specific question, which would have been, if you had the opportunity to fight Bud again, if he was to come out of retirement for one fight, would you want that fight back? And that's the question that I want to know, because now we're stuck until somebody else get that very interview with Errol Spence. It's like, bro, if Bud was to come back one more time for one last fight, come out of retirement, a special one just for you, would you take that fight? And knowing that your body is back right, your mental health is right, everything is right, would you take that fight? And I think Spence would say yeah. You know, I think he would say yeah, because he said that his reels was hurting. He said he didn't spar 6 weeks prior to the fight. Man, there was a lot of speculation where, like, and he said in the room where he was getting interviewed in a locker room, Andre Ward said, "Were you tired?" A lot of people said Spence was high. A lot of people said Errol Spence Jr. was high at that time. And he said he was just tired. He said he was tired. I wish he would have went into a little bit more detail, but he said he was tired around that time. My only question is, I don't even care about the Tszyu fight. If this is the biggest rematch fight in history, I don't want to see Canelo versus Crawford no more. Turkey Al-Sheikh, get that out your mind. If Terence Crawford was to come out of retirement, I don't want him to fight Canelo. Canelo don't even want it. But I know one person who will want to get that back, because if you go back to that very night, one of the things that Errol Spence said was, we got to run that back. We got to get that back. We got to get that back. And me being a diehard Errol Spence fan, bro, like, I would want us to get that back. Like, I would want us to get that fight one more time. Just give us that fight one more time. And I don't care. Y'all can leave it 1-1. But as a fan, I know then it's going to be, oh, who's going to break the tie? Can we possibly get a trilogy? If Bud was to come out of retirement one more time and fight a person, I don't want him fighting Canelo. I don't care about Canelo. Who cares about that fight? Nobody cares about that Canelo fight. If he was to come out one more time, I would beg Crawford to come out one more time and to give us the Errol Spence Jr. fight. For Spence to say, and you know what? I believe it, because if you go back to when Errol Spence Jr. was in Vegas, and I'm gonna see if I can find a clip. When he was punching the bag, he stopped and he drank water, and he was saying that how his body was like, his wasn't right. He wasn't holding the water right. It wasn't maintaining. He was depicated, in a sense, is what he was saying. But he didn't leave no excuses. Crawford showed up, and Crawford did what Crawford was supposed to do. You can't take credit away from Terence Crawford. He didn't have the injury. Spence had the injury. And he was talking about how sparring partners were able to talk about, oh man, we touched up EJ. We did this to EJ. EJ this, EJ that. I truly believe that, man, if Terence Crawford was to come back one last time, come out of retirement, I would love for Terence Crawford to go back and give Errol Spence Jr. one more opportunity. You know, Turkey Al-Sheikh says that he wants Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. Bro, that fight is poo cheese. I'm just saying. We don't want to see Terence Crawford versus Canelo no more, bro. The hottest fight on the market right now, as far as a rematch, is None other than Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Bud Crawford. Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford, a rematch. That is the hottest fight on the market to make right now, based off the interview that we was able to watch in a great interview by Andre Ward. My boy say, Ali Hayes says, for what? Before you whoop that boy A, come on now. I wouldn't want to see that boy get it A whooped again because he damn sure can't beat him. Bro, listen, did you not watch the interview? Did you not watch the interview? He said, you know, and no excuses. No excuses. Crawford showed up and did what he was supposed to do. But per the interview, Errol Spence was hurt. He took a shot in his rib cage. Chromosome. He had to get it approved. So if he had to get it approved, you know Bud had to know, hey, he's a weak spot right there. Body. Boom, boom, boom. And then also, he said that Errol Spence says that he didn't even spar 6 weeks leading up to the fight, bro. 6 weeks leading up to the fight and you did not spar? Y'all didn't go over a game plan to stop the jabs from coming in? We wouldn't have got the fight if it wasn't for Errol Spence Jr. If it wasn't for Errol Spence Jr., we wouldn't have got the fight. So what I'm simply saying is, since we didn't get the fight because of since we did get the fight for Errol Spence Jr. and Bud Crawford due to Errol Spence Jr. telling his people, hey, give Crawford this, give Crawford that, the fight go happen, y'all get on board, then I think that Terence probably and would be willing to come out of retirement one last time. If it was to come out of retirement, if not, then that's fine. But to come out of retirement one last time and give Errol Spence Jr. a second opportunity in a rematch. Now, Andre Ward didn't ask that question. Maybe he got sidetracked because that was an outstanding interview what Andre Ward did. Shout out to the Art of War. That was a fantastic interview he did. A fantastic interview. But the question is, I wish that he would have asked, when you was in that back room and the camera was on you and you told people why everybody looking sad, it is what it is. You also stated that you wanted to get it back. Now you wanted to run it back. If Bud Crawford were to come out of retirement and to give you that opportunity, would you want to run it back one last time? And whether it was a yes or no, maybe so, whatever the case may be, I believe that would have been a great opportunity for him to come back, bro. My boy say, if he get whooped, you get his A whooped again. What excuse gonna be? It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Rather he get whooped or not, bro, it's gonna be what it's gonna be what it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not giving out nothing over here. I'm just saying it's gonna be what it's gonna be. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. My boy Lawrence says, F no, he would not fight Crawford again. I think he would, bro, if the opportunity was presented itself. I think he would. Make sure y'all hitting that super chat. Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy LD.
The Kid.
And you tuning into Likeable Dialogue. And that is true. But if you watch that interview, bro, he wasn't himself. His rib cage was injured. He had to get it approved. Remember, he had to get approval to get a chromosome shot in his rib cage. He had to get an approval to get a chromosome shot in his rib cage. And he admits that he wasn't training like he was supposed to be training. He didn't spar 6 weeks prior to the Crawford fight. He didn't quit boxing after that fight. He simply went and took a break and let his body heal up, bro. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say he quit boxing, because if he quit boxing, he wouldn't be coming back right now. Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy LD. And you tuning into Likeable Dialogue. But the question is, man, you know, I would like to see it will come back one more time. But like I said, there's no excuse, because at the end of the day, Terence Crawford came out and did what Terence Crawford was supposed to do. At the end of the day, Terence Crawford came out and Terence Crawford did what Terence Crawford was supposed to do. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You know what I mean? But I think I do have a video that I want to show y'all of part of a clip of the interview. I don't know if I uploaded it to the computer and I need to see. But here is something that he had to say, Errol Spence Jr. Once I find the video. Let me see. So here's a clip of that interview of what Errol Spence had to say.
That can't. Whose job is it?
Sacrifice myself.
I feel that, but what I don't feel is going into that camp. Whose job is it to pick the sparring partners and to have that stuff on point?
Derrick, he the teacher, right?
So when you're not sparring, what are you saying to him?
I mean, we just work in the midst. You would think he would put on some gloves and have me like blocking shots and not, but it was none of that.
I'm getting whooped right now. Nah, man, that's crazy.
Just feeling weak, depleted. Like even if I worked out, like I felt like I wasn't getting stronger. I don't know, bro. The whole camp, it was just a whole mess.
The whole camp, he goes on to say, the whole camp was just a messed up situation. He goes on to say the whole camp was just a messed up situation. The whole camp was a messed up situation. He says, Derrick James is the teacher, right? You didn't give me no sparring partners, but I do got to question that, right? Because if you're not getting no sparring partners, is it because you're injured? I can't see why just a coach not give you sparring partners. He says that the coach didn't give him sparring partners, but then he also goes on and say that he had a shot in his rib cage. So was you not sparring because you had the shot in your rib cage? Because you had a rib injury? You wasn't sparring because you had a rib injury. And you was trying to let that rib injury heal up. But 6 weeks of no sparring while Crawford was getting it in, man, that was a lose-lose situation because he wasn't able to train. Let's play that again.
That can't. Whose job is it?
Sacrifice myself.
I feel that, but what I don't feel is going into that camp. Whose job is it to pick the sparring partners and to have that stuff on point?
Derrick, he the teacher, right?
So when you're not sparring, what are you saying to him?
I mean, we just work in the midst. You would think he would put on some gloves and have me like blocking shots and not, but it was none of that.
I'm getting whooped right now. Nah, man, that's crazy.
Just feeling weak, depleted. Like even if I worked out, like I felt like I wasn't getting stronger. I don't know, bro. The whole camp, it was just a whole mess.
The whole camp was just a messed up situation, is what Errol Spence Jr. had to say. He said the whole camp was just a messed up situation. Now, a lot of people would say that's just an excuse, that's just this, that's just that, but I'm not even lying to you. I don't even know. I'm just saying, you know, you're not sparring. It's possibly because, you know, you got that rib injury going on. You got the rib injury going on, so you're not sparring because of the rib injury. And what you're trying to do is heal up 6 weeks into the camp. So is that one of the reasons why you wasn't sparring? Or was you wasn't sparring to prevent an injury? But as a fighter, you really have to question that. Bro, why am I not sparring 6 weeks in to fight Crawford? One of the best, one of the biggest fights of your life. That's the only thing I got. Like, we need more questions on that. We need more questions on that. Spence, my favorite fighter, bro. My favorite fighter, bro. My favorite fighter. But the thing is, I want to see a rematch. Hey, what's up, guys? This your boy LD. And you tuning into Likeable Dialogue. I want a rematch. Ali Hayes says, ask yourself, why the F did he get in the ring? He could have been like, now we do another time. Bro, the contract was already signed, and then he also addressed that in the interview. You need to go watch the video, Ali Hayes. You need to go watch the video. He said that this is one of the biggest paychecks that he can provide for his family, because he was even questioning how much more was he going to even come back to boxing. So go watch the interview, my guy. You know, a lot of fighters step in the ring trying to make that payday. You know, it's just like you. You got a 9 to 5. You ain't feeling good, but you know you got a big bonus coming up. And in order for you to get that bonus, you got to go to work. And that's the same thing what Errol Spence did. He knew he had a big payday coming up, but the thing is, he wanted to go and make sure he showed up and collected that payday, hurt or not hurt. I'm just saying. My boy HG in the building. HG finally back with the channel. Get that boy some more bombs. My boy HG says, Earl been in the fighting business so long, he should know what camp entitles. Ooh. HG, you got to explain that to me, my boy. You got to explain that to me, HG. My boy say, it's cool. I don't care less about another boxer. For sure. Shout out to Ali Hayes. Ali Hayes, man, send something to the super chat, Ali Hayes. My boy HG says, also, he shouldn't have got so high. Shout out to HG. HG, did you also see that in the interview as well? I don't know if you saw the fight, but also a lot of people said Errol Spence was high as hell in that fight too. And I remember him saying, nah, they don't test for that. They don't test for marijuana in Vegas. They don't test for that in Vegas. They don't test for that in Vegas. I remember seeing that. But my thing is too also is that he also addressed that because Andre Ward said something along the lines that you're tired. You looked tired. They said he was tired. And he said, I was tired as hell leading up to the fight. You know, but how can you be so tired? We got to get more questions out of that, bro. It was a great 2-hour interview, but I got more questions, bro. I pay for every Errol Spence pay-per-view. I'm a diehard Spence fan. You see the picture right here. And those y'all that don't see it, that's because you watch it from a different camera. But once you see the clips, you will see I got a big ass Errol Spence picture right here, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I'm the biggest fan, so I got questions. Bro. You know, why were you tired? You know, you wasn't sparring 6 weeks up until that. I mean, did you not get no rest the night before? Was you restless? You know what I'm saying? I got questions, bro. That is legitimate questions. But I also understand that he wasn't himself. He didn't spar. Bro, we need a rematch. That's all I'm saying. My boy HG says, I'm saying Earl knows what it takes for camp. The process Canelo Bud bring in guys to spar. Yeah, no, facts, bro. I totally understand that. But I'm thinking he didn't spar 6 weeks into the Crawford fight because he had a rib injury. And what they was trying to do was let that rib injury heal up, because he says that he had to get it approved to get a chromosome shot during the fight. Known Striker, welcome to the channel, Known Striker. Hit that subscribe button. He says, nobody want to hear that ish. He was drinking before the accident. Yeah, he was drinking before the accident. Yeah, he admitted that. Bro, just let it go. Earl cooked. If he wanted the rematch, he could have had it. It was rematch clause. It was. And I'm glad you talked about that, because he said that he wasn't ready mentally, physically, or he had the patch on his eye. Remember, he had that detached retina. He had to go back and get that eye surgically repaired. See what I'm saying? So, I mean, you can say I'm making excuses, my guy. Send in a super chat and I'll let you call in and say that, bro. But the thing is, you can say I'm making excuses, which I'm not. I'm simply saying Crawford showed up to do what Crawford was supposed to do. Crawford showed up and did what Crawford was supposed to do. At the end of the day, I'm simply saying is I got questions. So if you're just now tuning in, then you might think that I'm making excuses. I'm not. I'm saying I got questions. You didn't spar 6 weeks into the fight leading up to Crawford. My question is, was it because, one, you had the rib injury and you was trying to let that heal up? 2, or did Derrick James was just foolish and didn't give you no sparring sessions? And 3, as a fighter, what was you saying to Derrick James about sparring? Those are legitimate questions. So how the hell am I making an excuse? My boy AG says, I know the contract was signed, but he could have postponed it. Postponing it always happens. That is true, but I think at that time, Crawford was just looking to get out the deal. He could have postponed it. That is true. He could have said, hey, you can go somewhere else, but just promise me when I come back to the sport, if I come back to the sport, that you'll give me a rematch. That is true, HG. Shout out to the hand grenade, bro. Shout out to the hand grenade. Irvin in a building. Irvin, welcome to the channel, my guy. Welcome to the channel, my guy. Yo, Known Striker, bro. Send in the super chat, my guy. And you send in a super chat. Send in a $5 super chat, and I'll let you get 5 minutes on the line to call in. But yeah, so the question really is just simply like, damn, Crawford did what he was supposed to do. Even though, you had all of these hiccups leading up to the Crawford fight, we can't take that away from Crawford. Crawford really did do what he was supposed to do. Crawford did what he was supposed to do. He did what he was supposed to do. And my boy just fell short, man. Shout out to Irvin. My boy Irvin says, you speak in facts 100. I appreciate that, Irvin, my guy. Hey, man, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button, man. Turn them notifications on, man. Welcome to the channel, my brother. My boy Ali Hay says, I just hope you don't back like Roy Jones and get knocked up. Yeah. I mean, he's been away, but I think the difference is this time is that not only has he been away, but he's been in shape. You see how big Adrian Broner belly is right now? Like Spence haven't been drinking, right? And also he's been in shape for about a year. So, and another thing that he touched up on is him being in shape right now is actually going to help him. Him being in shape right now actually helped him in training camp because he's already in shape, but now he's getting in better shape. Whereas he's not coming into camp out of shape, trying to get in shape. And now you trying to work on something. It doesn't work that way. You got to come in camp in shape. And so he says he feels better now. He had to take that mental time off, get all that off, and then he's coming back, and he's not even fighting a tune-up. All y'all favorite fighters out here fighting tune-ups. What did Boost Ennis do? Lemma, what the fuck? Come on. Got him out of there within the first round. Seconds. Why? Because he was a tune-up. They asked him, did he want to fight Devin Haney? What did he say? He wanted another tune-up to fight Devin Haney. Get the fuck out of here. But y'all want to talk ish about Spence? Tell me a tune-up fight that Spence ever had. Tell me. I'm waiting. You can't tell me because he haven't had a tune-up fight. And then, too, in the interview, we found out after the car crash where my boy Known Striker says, oh, he was drinking, hanging with Mo 3, doing all of this and etc., right? Even afterwards, what did he do? He came back and fought Danny Garcia while he had COVID. Coming off the car crash. So what the hell he on? What the hell he on? What the hell he? Come on, bruh. My boy HG says Earl is a top tier fighter who takes no tune-up fights, but was just too superior, better man that night. Yeah, but just lost to a superior, better man that night. Facts, bro. But name another fighter that was out there cooking like Earl, fighting all the top contenders. He wasn't saying like, I'm not going to fight you because of your weight class. If Earl would have won that fight, we were supposed to get Canelo versus Errol Spence Jr. But because Earl lost that fight, we ended up getting Canelo versus Crawford. You know what I'm saying? They was in talks of, now tell me if I'm lying. They were saying that Errol Spence, that's why they didn't want Earl to get it. They was trying to put Earl one fight up against Keith Thurman, but he had another wreck where the kid stole the mama keys and then wrecked and then hit Earl. We was going to get the Thurman fight then. And then after that, we was going to get the Canelo fight. Come on, bruh. Tell me a fight that Earl ever had a tune-up in. Name it. I want you to name it. You can't name it, bruh. This ain't me being a fan of Earl and nothing. This is me just speaking facts, gang. So why Earl don't want to fight Boots? Boy, get the out of here. Bro, come on. Boots was wanting tune-ups. Boots Ennis is a great fighter. But at the end of the day, what was he doing? Tune-ups. Turkey Island Sheik said it. Even his own promoter, Eddie Hearn, said it. Come on, man. Y'all got to stop picking and choosing, bro. You never heard me say anything about Terence Crawford, bro. You heard me say Terence Crawford did what Terence Crawford was supposed to do. EJ lose one fight and you niggas get, and niggas get, bro, let me calm down, bro. Y'all done got my blood pressure. Bro, and I don't even talk to my subscribers like this and people that tune in because I respect everybody's opinion, bro. But y'all act like y'all got amnesia, bro. Before Errol Spence lost that fight, what was Spence doing? He was wrecking shit. Before Errol Spence lost to Terence Bud Crawford, what was he doing? He was wrecking ish. And everybody was watching Errol Spence fight. Don't tell me you wasn't watching the Errol Spence fight because you were. Because he was fighting all the top guys. Sean Porter. Ugas, who had the belt. Come on, man. I think you meant Errol Spence was effing niggas up. Yeah, he thought he was effing niggas up. He thought he was effing niggas up. I'll give you that. He was, bro. That's a fact. You know, he fell short to one dominant fighter, bro, that night. And I said that. I said that Errol Spence fell short that night against Terence Crawford, bro. But y'all ain't finna act like Errol Spence wasn't out here wrecking ish and everybody was tuning in to Strap season himself. Big fish. Hey, what's up, guys? This your boy LD. And you tuning into Likeable Dialogue. Bro, y'all gonna have to put some respect on that dude name, bro. Wasn't nobody out here doing that. Wasn't nobody out here putting the butts in the seats like him. Come on, bro. Y'all gotta chill, bro. And I'm sorry I don't talk to my people like that, bro. But bro, I can't let y'all disrespect my boy EJ like that either, though. I'm just saying, bro. But anyway, my whole thing is I would like to see it again. I really would like to see it again. I would love to see this fight again, bro. We know now that he was quote unquote tired, right? If he was, if he wasn't. And not only that, he did not spar 6 weeks leading up to the fight. And not only that, he had to get a shot in his ribs, bro. He had to get it approved. So that's something factual that we can check, that he had a rib injury going into the fight that night, because he had to get a chromosome shot. And that's no difference, bro. Getting a chromosome shot in your rib is no difference than getting a shot on a football field. My boy AG says, I should have waited to come on live. LD speaking on Earl. Damn it. Hey, man. AG, bro, you need to come on, join me on the live, bro. I'm going to send you the link. Just let me know, bro. Join the live for 5 minutes or call in, AG. You a member. You can call in whenever. Let me know, HG, what you gonna do, man? I need you to come on here, bro, and help me talk these facts, bro. Because I'm not biased, bro. I'm not biased. That's one thing about me, bro. Like, I'm not biased at all. But one thing that I always do, I try to give everybody an opportunity to speak their truth. But I'm saying Terence Crawford did what he did. Terence Crawford showed up. Terence Crawford worked his ass off in camp. Terence Crawford did what he was supposed to do. That's what I'm simply saying. I'm saying Terence Crawford showed up and Terence Crawford did what Terence Crawford was supposed to do. That is what I'm saying, bro. I'm not saying that that's the reason why Terence Crawford won the fight because EJ wasn't himself. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying Terence Crawford did his job. EJ had some problems with his coach. EJ had some problems with it in the camp. EJ had whatever problems that he had. Terence Crawford showed up and did what Terence Crawford was supposed to do. And he was the better man that night. But what I also saying is EJ had a rib injury going into the fight. So much so that he been had that rib injury and he didn't spar 6 weeks leading up to the fight. No shots taken. Literally. My boy said that ain't no excuse because you still got in the ring, so I didn't even know excuse right there. So I didn't even need. So you saying you didn't even need, but it's not an excuse. I'm just simply saying, gang. My boy say Terence Crawford is OP 100. What does OP mean? Shout out to my dog's homework. What does OP mean? OG? I don't know what OP mean. I ain't gonna lie, bro. What do OP mean? You gotta tell me what the OP mean. Yo, Ali, hey, man, you a real one. I appreciate you. Overpowered. Okay, Terence Crawford is overpowered. Shout out to my dog's homework. Hey, hit that subscribe button for me, my dog's homework, man. Send in a super chat, man. Rock out with the channel. Ali, hey, I gotta give you a shout out, though, my guy. Shout out to that boy, Ali, hey, man. He been lit. He been active out there in the chat. He keeping the channel going. I ain't mad at you, Ali. Hey, we just having a boxing conversation, my guy. That's all we having, man. Ali, hey, I'm gonna do you a solid, bro. Since you out there and you not agreeing with me, well, that's cool with you not agreeing, right? Right? It's cool, bro. Do you got social media? If you got Instagram, send me a DM. I'm gonna send you a link, bro. Just have a shirt on, or I'm just gonna post a number. Let y'all call in for a little bit. I'm gonna post a number. I'm gonna let y'all, man, listen, y'all contribute to the super chat, man. I'm about to let y'all call in, you know what I'm saying, and do all of that, man. Post, man, rock out with the super chat, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta send much. You can send 5, 2, 3, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever's on your heart. You know what I'm saying? Rock out with the super chat. Boom, that's the number right there to call in. I think the line is open. The line is open, man. You can call in to the show if you want to call in and rock out with the channel. My boy AG says, my opinion, Earl wasn't Earl that night. Earl was himself. It would have been a whole different story slash fight. Oh, yeah. I agree, bro. I agree. Errol Spence Jr. wasn't himself that night, but if he was, he would have been a different person that night. Shout out to that boy, Irvin. Hey, Irvin, bro, I appreciate that with the 199 super chat. And this is his first time rocking out with the channel, boy. Hey, what's up, guys? This is your boy LD.
The kid.
And you tuning into Likeable Dialogue. Man, we got to give that boy Irvin a shout out to Likeable Dialogue.
Shout out to Likeable Dialogue.
Yo, Irvin, man, we appreciate that, man. Rocking out, bro. See, man, we ain't a stingy channel, man. We don't, I just tell it, you know, you go to another YouTube channel, I promise you, they not even gonna read your comment. They gonna ignore you. They gonna let you talk in the chat with the people. They not even gonna rock out with you. Bro, over here, I rock out with you, bro. And I just tell people, man, just donate whatever they can donate. You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I open up the phone lines. That's the phone line number that's going across your screen if you want to call in to the show and voice your opinion and tell me that, hey, bro, I don't agree with what you're saying, but we're going to have a likable dialogue conversation about the sport anyway, and we just go rock out. You know what I'm saying? So that is the number on the bottom of the screen if you want to call in to the show. We're going to leave that posted for a little bit and give people an opportunity to call in if you want to call in. But let's say, you know, like I said, I'm not saying that Errol Spence didn't deserve. I'm not saying that Errol Spence didn't come to fight. He came to fight with the injuries, with whatever the 6 weeks, he still came to fight. But Terence Crawford had prepared way better and had a better game plan. From my understanding, bro, only thing they really was able to do was really just hit the mix, according to Errol Spence Jr. And he even mentioned the lawsuit against Derrick James. You know what I'm saying? He even mentioned the lawsuit. Errol Spence Jr. even mentions the lawsuit against Derrick James. He goes on to say that I brought him his check to his house, sat down with him. How was I not being genuine? How was I not trying to pay him? How was I not trying to give him his compensation for the fight? I sat down at the man's house. And he's still going through the lawsuit with Derrick James, he mentioned. I'm not gonna lie, bro. That was a good ass interview, bro. And I don't even watch people interviews because stuff get oversaturated a lot. But I think that was a great interview. And man, listen, Terence Crawford did what he was supposed to do at the end of the day. Terence Crawford showed up and he did what he was Terence Crawford did what he was supposed to do. And that's just no ifs, ands, or buts about that. My only thing is that if Terence Crawford showed up and did what he was supposed to do, he was supposed to win that night. Earl had hiccups. That's not Terence Crawford's fault. It's not. Feel me? And for him to reveal that he didn't spar 6 weeks prior to the fight, I got a question about that. Were you hurt and y'all was trying to let your rib cage heal up? Or did you just think you had it in the bank? Like, what was up? Like, I would be questioning that as a coach. You say you didn't have no southpaws. I would be questioning that. Me being an Errol Spence fan, bro, and I don't fire stick his fights. You know what I'm saying? I buy his fights. As a fan, I got a question, bro. I got a question, bro. I'm a biggest Spence fan, dog. Like, look at, like, bro, I'm gonna turn my computer. You see the picture right there? That's me and Spence right there, bro. I got bigger, this shit, bro. Y'all think I'm going, bro? I got real questions for that boy Spence, bro. Like, I'm telling you, dog. That's the dude's signature right there on my strap season shirt. There go my dog Spence right there, dog. I ain't just saying this, bro, just to be saying this stuff, dog. And I'm still giving credit, where credit is due. I'm still saying Terence Crawford showed up and did what Terence Crawford was supposed to do. He did. At the end of the day, Terence Crawford showed up and handled the business in the way that Terence Crawford was supposed to handle the business. But it still doesn't give the fact that Errol Spence had this to say.
That can't. Whose job is it?
Sacrifice myself.
I feel that, but what I don't feel is going into that camp. Whose job is it to pick the sparring partners and to have that stuff on point?
Derrick, he the teacher, right?
So when you're not sparring, what are you saying to him?
I mean, we just working the midst. You would think he would put on some gloves and have me like blocking shots and like not, but it was none of that.
I'm getting whooped right now. Nah, man, that's crazy.
Just feeling weak, depleted. Like, even if I worked out, like I feel like I wasn't getting stronger. I don't know, bro. I just, the whole camp, it was just a whole mess.
Come on, man. What we doing, bro? My boy say, shout out to that boy Irvin Lee. My boy says, I like your channel because I can tell you have a strong passion for the sport of boxing. Shout out to that boy Ali Hay. Let's make my boy Ali Hay says, I like your channel because I can tell you have a strong passion for the sport of boxing. Shout out to that boy. Shout out to that boy, Ali Hay, man. HG in the building. My boy HG says, Andre Ward gives solid interviews and isn't afraid to ask real questions. Shout out to SOG. Facts. My boy Lawrence says he knocked the fight out that man. God damn. Obviously he didn't because he coming back, bro. If y'all don't like Spence, just say you don't like Spence. But to say he knocked the fight out that man is diabolical, bro. The dude had a detached retina. The dude damn near lost his life in a car wreck. The dude had to go through surgery. The dude had to go through another eye surgery. Do you get amnesia or do y'all just forget? Like, the dude had so many hiccups that he got beat up, got the brakes beat off of him. Okay, like, I'm telling you what you want to hear. He got beat up. He got the brakes knocked off of him, bro. I'm not a biased commentator. I'm not a biased channel. Look, there go my dog Spence right there. That's my favorite fighter, dog. I'm not saying that he did not lose. Spence got cooked. But in that time that he got cooked, he had an opportunity to reflect on the things that he was doing wrong. And within that time, he had the opportunity to let his body heal and focus. So to say that he got the fight knocked out of him and he's coming back, it's untrue. Now, if he never came back in the sport of boxing and we was having this conversation 10 years later, I say, bro, you damn right. He got the fight knocked out of him, but he coming back. So there's still a fight left in him. So he didn't get the fight knocked out of him. My boy says he shouldn't have fought. Now we have to hear excuses. It's not an excuse. It's just the way that man felt, dog. It's not an excuse. You know what I'm saying? But I got another video that I want y'all to see, man. I do got another video. Training camp was trash. This is what I'm going to post this right here, man. This is another thing. He says, I didn't spar for 6 weeks, no sparring. It was a lot of stuff going wrong, which I just read to y'all. But I'm gonna put this on the channel so y'all can. I'm gonna put this on the channel so y'all can hear it as well for yourselves. But in the mean, I'm gonna play this video for y'all one more time while I get this on the channel. Let's go.
That can't. Whose job is it?
Sacrifice myself.
I feel that, but what I don't feel is going into that camp. Whose job is it to pick the sparring partners and to have that stuff on point?
Oh, Derrick, you the teacher, right?
So when you're not sparring, what are you saying to him?
I mean, we just work in the midst. You would think he would put on some gloves and have me like blocking shots and like not, but it was none of that.
I'm getting whooped right now. That's don't nah, man. That's crazy.
Just feeling weak, depleted. Like even if I worked.
Bro, he said he was feeling weak, he was feeling depleted, and I believe that depleted situation. Let me tell you why I believe the depleted situation. Because when Errol Spence was hitting the bag back in Vegas, they had the Terence Crawford workout, and then they had the Errol Spence workout. And when Spence was working out hitting the bag, he stopped. When Terence Crawford was hitting the bag, he never stopped. He never gasped for water. He never did any of that, Terence Crawford. But when Spence was hitting that bag in Vegas, in that gym, Spence stopped to drink some water. I believe that shit. He was depleted, bro. I believe it. But anyway, this is what Spence had to say. My boy says, I didn't spar for 6 weeks. No sparring. It was just a lot of stuff that went wrong. The training camp was trash at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? This training camp was just trash at the end of the day. You know? And you know what? As boxing fans, we always going to say like, oh, it's an excuse. We are always going to say like, you know, if a person leave, but you know what's so crazy? If I'm not mistaken, he said before like Terence Crawford was the better man, like he won. I'm not giving it no excuses. But is it an excuse that a man can say like, I got a chromosome shot right here in my rib? And that's a factual fact. But we call it an excuse? We also seen that he had a detached retina, which is an actual fact that he had surgery. Are we calling that an excuse? But that don't give Terence Crawford nothing less than what he done. Terence Crawford showed up, beat the brakes off my guy. I'm just saying. My boy says, and he got his driving license renewed. That's pressure. Damn. Shout out to my boy HG. Jig 1994. Bro, you got a lot of stuff. My boy says, are back with believing something happened 2 years ago. Bud was drained. The fight also looked at his face. Bud was drained too. I'm gonna give you that. They both was drained. Bud was drained in that fight also. Look at his face. I give you that too. See? Bro, I'm a realist. I'm the realest person you ever know, bro. Like I'm gonna give you them same facts that you're saying to me, that I believe that Bud with face was drained too in that fight. That's why I say like Bud Crawford showed up and did what Bud Crawford was supposed to do. At the end of the day, Bud showed up and Bud did what he was supposed to do. That is no excuse. You know what I'm saying? He showed up and he did what he was supposed to do. And what was Bud supposed to do? Go and defeat his opponent. He was supposed to go and defeat his opponent. And that's exactly what he did. Went and he defeated his opponent. That's all Bud Crawford did. You know what I'm saying? But, but like Spence did say though, a lot of stuff went wrong in that camp. And you can look at Spence. I remember, like, I'm going to go back to like one of the very first times that Spence was coming out. And I remember us, like, if you was like a day one and you watched that fight with us, like we watched the boxing fight live. When Spence came out, I said, bro, something is wrong with Spence. Bud hydrated well, but it seemed like Spence just didn't hydrate well. He was off that night too. But that doesn't discredit Bud from doing a hell of a job, man. It doesn't discredit Bud. But anyway, though, guys, my boy says, So you think if the money was right, Bud would come out of retirement and rematch? Man, you know what? That's my only question, though, HG. My only question is, I don't know if Bud would come back because he says there is no amount of money that would bring him back. But I really feel like Bud and Earl, if they got on the phone with each other, if Earl pulled off, if Earl pulled what Bud pulled was like called when they said Bud called Earl and they just had a one-on-one conversation, I believe like them two, like the relationship that they have, I believe that Bud would say probably, I don't know. Now Bud say he's done. He doesn't have nothing to come back to. Every time he came back to prove a point as to get another championship. There's no high for Bud, right? But if Earl talked to Bud and say, Bud, I know I messed up and we didn't get the rematch. I just had to heal up. But if you can do me one solid and just come back for one fight with me, you can have the bigger purse. I don't care. Give me a rematch. This is the rematch that we want, Turkey Ala Sheik, that I want. Don't nobody want to see Bud Crawford. Let me ask y'all a question. Turkey Ala Sheik talking about Canelo versus Crawford 2. Is that something that y'all want to see? Is that something that y'all want to see? I believe Terence Crawford cooks Canelo again. Now with this, I want to see how Spence come back and fight against Tszyu. Then I guarantee you, if he wins or knocks out Tszyu, Lawrence, known striker, Ali Hay, I want y'all to come back to the channel. Because I promise you, people are going to start saying, you think we can get the Bud versus Spence rematch? Everybody that's saying they don't want to see it, I guarantee you, if Errol Spence stops Tszyu, I guarantee you everybody gonna start saying we want to see Bud Crawford versus Errol Spence. And then not only that, they're gonna be saying Errol Spence Jr. is back. Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy LG. You tuning into Likeable Dialogue. My boy HG says, I see Bud outside. He loves that fight life and misses it. That's the same thing that Errol Spence said. He was like, he didn't know if he was going to come back to the sport of boxing, is what he said. He said, I didn't know if I was going to come back to the sport of boxing, but what I do know is that I got bored. There's nothing to do. There wasn't nothing for me to train for. There was no urge. You know what I'm saying? I was missing it. So I woke up one morning, I said I want to come back and fight. He waking up, and guess what? He's coming back to fight. It's simple. What y'all got to say, man? Y'all want me to open the lines, the phone lines? And y'all call in? What y'all want to do? I'm just saying. Errol Spence just tweeted out. My boy Errol Spence just tweeted out. For everybody that's saying that he making excuses, Errol Spence just tweeted out. This is what Errol Spence just tweeted out. For everybody that's saying that he's making it an excuse, this is what Errol Spence just tweeted out, y'all. He says, regardless, Bud earned and deserved his W. That's what he said. Now, I don't know which one of these is it. Let me see. Is this it? No, that's not the tweet that I'm looking for. Hold on. I'm about to find the tweet that what he just tweeted out, y'all. Hold on. Let me find that tweet. He just tweeted this out. He said, regardless, Bud earned and deserved that earned and deserved his W. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Oh, I saved the photo. Hold on. I need to be sharing the photo. I saved the photo. Let me get this on for y'all. And that's exactly what I said, bro. I said, regardless. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get this tweet on for y'all. All right, so here's the tweet. It's in the downloads. Find this tweet for y'all. And I hate when they do that. Let's see, is this the tweet? Hold on, y'all. Let me get this. Let me rename this tweet. Let me rename this tweet. All right. Here's the tweet right here. Oh, come on. To piss me off. What up? What up? What up? DT in a building. DT, bro, you missed a good show, boy. Not gonna lie, bro. We've been cooking. All right, y'all. Here it is right here. Errol Spence Jr. just tweeted out. Regardless, Bud was disciplined and he deserves and earned his W. That is exactly what I've been saying the whole goddamn time. Regardless of what Errol Spence had going on, regardless of it, Bud deserved it. That's exactly what I've been saying. Regardless, Bud showed up. And he was disciplined. Regardless, Bud was disciplined in his count and he deserved and earned his W. It wasn't Bud Crawford's fault that I got cooked that night. Come on, man. Y'all run with shit, bro. Saying it's an excuse is not an excuse. The guy, now tell me where the excuse is. If it was an excuse, Errol Spence would have said, he would have tweeted out, Bud Crawford didn't win that fight because I didn't spar for 6 weeks. He didn't say that. He said, regardless, Bud was disciplined and he deserved his W. Come on, bro. Ain't nobody being crazy over here, bro. The dude is giving Bud his props. I gave Bud his props. I said Bud deserved it. It's not Bud Crawford's fault. Regardless, Bud was this disciplined and he deserved and earned his W. Get a man some credit. Y'all mad at me saying stuff? Come on, bro. You cannot. Bud deserved his credit, but we're not going to discredit the fact that the guy got a chromosome shot in the rib the night of the fight that he had to get approved. Come on, man. Oh, bruh. My boy said, I don't know what you think he's going to do with that fight he got coming up. Bro, he go cook him. Hey, I want you to be here the night he fight. I'm going to be live, Allie, and you can cook me all night long. No Diddy. You can cook me all night long. No Diddy. But I guarantee you he go do something to Tszyu. My boy DT in a building. DT says the amount of money needed to bring Crawford would not be worth a Spence fight. Damn, bro, you was a buzz killer, dog. My boy Earl in the building, he says, my boy says, everything Earl just tweeted, you are speaking on. That's why I like your channel, because you are real. Shout out to Earl.
Shout out to Likeable Dialogue. Outlaw.
Irvin, man, I want you to turn your notifications on, bro. Because, bro, you feel what I'm saying, bro. You feel me, bro. Turn your notifications on, gang. Rock out with the channel, man. You feel what I'm saying, bro. And I'm not being biased in one way or the other. I'm simply saying in the middle, I'm saying that Bud deserved his W. I'm simply saying Bud cooked that night. But I'm not going to ignore all the stuff that Spence said too. I'm just like, bro, Spence didn't make an excuse. He just said, I had a shot in my rib that night. I didn't spar 6 weeks leading up to the fight. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying, bro, it's like I'm being realistic. But Bud deserved that. That wasn't Bud's fault that Errol got cooked that night. It wasn't. It was straight. It was straight. Just what that boy put out. You know what I mean? Everybody, Bud earned that W. Terence Crawford earned that W. He worked his ass off for that W. My boy DT said, what was the question? One of the questions was, would you want to see that rematch, right? Turkey Island Sheik talking about bringing Crawford and Canelo back. But, and Terence Crawford said that he wouldn't come back with no amounts of money. But I guarantee you, and I see your comment, DT, you says the amount of money that would bring Terence Crawford back wouldn't worth the Spence fight. Bro, did we forget that Spence was cooking before the Crawford fight? He took time off to let his body heal. I don't know if you saw the interview, but I see a new spark in Spence, bro. I feel like he needed that time to heal. But I understand where nobody probably want to see that fight now. But let's watch what Errol Spence do against Tszyu. And then let's ask ourselves the question, if Errol can get Terence Crawford on the phone, because Terence Crawford says, there's no amount of money that can bring me back. Not even 100 million. Not even 100 million would bring him back. Nothing would bring him back. But if there's one thing that we can do to bring back Bud Crawford somehow, some way, if there was one thing that we can do to bring back Terence Crawford, one, if Errol Spence was to call him and say, hey, Bud, I know you're not coming back to the sport of boxing, man. I just need one fight, win, lose, or draw, before I leave this sport of boxing. The question is, do you think Bud would come back? We're not talking about, is it worth it? We're not talking about, is the fight worth it? I'm simply saying, if Errol Spence Jr. called Terence Crawford and he have a heart-to-heart conversation with Terence Crawford, do you think Terence Crawford will come out of retirement? Regardless if you think the fight is worth it. Regardless if you think the fight is worth it or do you think it's worth it if it's not worth it. The question is, if Errol Spence called Terence Crawford, because Crawford says he's not coming back in the sport of boxing regardless of the amount of money. But if Errol Spence called him and say, hey, Bud, I know you're in retirement. I know there's no amount of money that will ever bring you back. But I need one fight back. I know we had the rematch. I understand that. But the rematch clause fell through. I had to give myself a mental break. But can you do me one solid? Can you please come back? Do you think he'll come back? Or better yet, go get me Errol Spence versus Canelo, and the winner gets Terence Crawford. He has to KO Tszyu in less than 6 rounds. Bro, Tszyu, you know what, bro? If you haven't watched that interview, man, I feel like we got a new revamped Errol Spence Jr., bro. I'm not even going to lie. My boy says, what about Steve Shakur and Haney? Yeah, man, you know what? That was going to be the topic for tonight, bro. I'm not even going to lie. like Shakur Stevenson versus Haney. I don't know if we actually get that fight, Ali Hayes, is because Shakur wants Devin to go down to 144. To my knowledge, Bill Haney has sent over a contract to Shakur's team for 144, trying to make the fight happen. Now, he said that, Bill Haney said that himself. I'm not making that up. Bill Haney came out publicly yesterday, or was it today? I think it was yesterday, and publicly said, we sent Shakur the fight for 144, which Shakur wants to fight at 144. If he don't sign that, then we're moving on to Keyshawn Davis. So that's what Bill Haney himself said. So we got to know about, we'll know a little bit more about that probably in the next couple of weeks or so, days or so. My boy says, ain't nobody doing favors out here, bruh. But listen, you got to realize they are. That's cap. That's cap. They are. That's cap, DT. They are. Because if it wasn't for Errol Spence, Bud Crawford himself said the fight wouldn't have took place. And in the interview that he did, he said that Bud asked him, bro, come on, man. They trying to give me 35, you 65. At least let me get 45. And he said he thought it was fair. So it went to 55-45. So he brought up Bud's pay from 35 to 45 to 45. So they are doing favors. That's cap. That's cap. They are doing favors. But I mean, bro, I think this is an entertaining. I think we might have to do a part 2 on this. We might have to do a part 2 on this, y'all. Because I think that, you know, depending on what Spence do in the Tszyu fight, I think a lot of y'all go have a change of heart. If he knocks him out, if we get that Spence that we once know, and you got to remember, and another thing that he said, he was going into camp out of shape. Spence been in shape for a long time now. And if Spence lose, then guess what? He lose. He go into the sunset. We could blame it on a car wreck. We could blame it on the eye retina. We could blame it on Spence. We could just say he lost. We could say he cooked. He's damaged goods. Whatever y'all want to say, we can say. But we got to wait to Tszyu fight to see if we're going to get that dog grit Spence back that we once knew. Hey, man, I'm up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody for tapping in, man. And man, it's real strange that Errol Spence didn't fight 6 weeks up until the Crawford fight. That's crazy. That's diabolical. I wish we would have got more questions on that. I really do. But that's it, guys. I'm up out of here. I'm gonna get some stuff uploaded. Those of y'all that tuned in to the channel, man, go smash that subscribe button. But not only go smash the subscribe button, but not only go smash the subscribe button, go and turn on your notifications. That way you know when we go live, man. Turn notifications on all so you know when we go live, man. You got to. See Fluid in. My boy says, I will be staying tuned in on you. One thing I know, I will get real news instead of fake news from you. Appreciate it. Appreciate that, my guy. My boy Irvin says, I will be staying tuned in on you. One thing I know, I will get real news instead of fake news from you. Shout out to that boy Irvin. Hey, what's up, guys? This your boy LD.
The Kid.
And you tuning into Likeable Dialogue. See Fluid in a building. See Fluid, bro, you got to turn your notifications on, my brother. We've been live for like an hour and 18 minutes now, my guy. My boy say, good evening, sir. Facts. Yeah, man, we've been cooking for like an hour and 18 minutes. I want to get some, get some shorts and stuff ready to start posting, man, because I know everybody gonna be talking about Errol Spence tomorrow. You know what I mean? But listen, if y'all want me to put the phone number out there, and I can put the phone number out there. If y'all want me to put the phone number out there, I'll put the number out there. Y'all can call in and voice y'all opinion about the whole Errol Spence situation, Terence Crawford situation. You know what I mean? If y'all want to if y'all want me to put it out there, let me know now, man. I'm gonna give y'all just a little bit of time. You know what I mean? And y'all can call in. But my whole thing is, man, we got to give credit where credit is due. Credit goes to Terence Crawford. He deserved the W. Errol Spence said it himself. Regardless, Bud was disciplined and he deserved and earned his W. He just tweeted this out. Regardless of my injury, regardless of what I went through, regardless of me not sparring 6 weeks prior to the fight leading up to Crawford, regardless of all of that, Bud was disciplined and he deserved and earned his W. Now, if y'all don't know what we're talking about, those of y'all that are just now tuning in, if you don't know what we're talking about, we're simply talking about this comment right here, what he did in the interview. He says, I didn't spar for 6 weeks, 7 weeks, no sparring. It was just a lot of stuff that went wrong. The training camp was trash at the end of the day. Earl, he reflected on what happened between him and Terence Crawford during the fight. This is also what he had to say.
They can't. Whose job is it?
Sacrifice myself.
I feel that, but what I don't feel is going into that camp. Whose job is it?
Hey,
Whose job is it?
I gotta say something real quick. That boy Andre Ward was real as hell for what he says. I feel that, but what I don't feel is whose job was it for you to get the sparring partners? Let's rewind that again.
Sacrifice myself.
I feel that, but what I don't feel is going into that camp. Whose job is it to pick the sparring partners and to have that stuff on point?
Derrick, you the teacher, right?
So when you're not sparring, what are you saying to him?
I mean, we just working the midst. You would think he would put on some gloves and have me like blocking shots and not, but it was none of that.
I'm getting whooped right now. Nah, man, that's crazy.
Just feeling weak, depleted. Like even if I worked out, like I felt like I wasn't getting stronger. I don't know, bro. I just the whole camp, it was just a whole mess.
He says the whole camp is just a messed up situation. You know what I'm saying? And C Fluid, that's a great question what you asked. C Fluid says, not saying what Earl is saying isn't true, but at this point, why bring it up? It was brought up because he was doing an interview and Andre Ward asked him a question and he answered the question. Why here? He just answered the question. He just said he was asked the question and he answered it. My boy DT says, we need to tell him my boy says, we need him to tell us that about a fight that happened 3 years ago. Focus on the future Earl. Oh, I understand. Yeah, man. Y'all got to go watch that interview, man. I don't really watch other people's interviews because stuff get oversaturated and people run with different things. And it be the same people doing interviews, talking about who they want to fight and they never fight. But this interview was warranted because Spence haven't did an interview, haven't did anything in some time. So this interview was warranted. And man, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It's a 2-hour interview. And this fight was warranted, and this interview was warranted, and this interview was really good. I'm talking about I literally sat there and watched the whole 2-hour interview. Maybe another reason why I watched it because I'm a big fan of Spence too. You know what I'm saying? But it was a really good interview, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie, man. Hands down, it was a great interview. But anyway, guys, I'm up out of here, y'all. Listen, Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. Spence says that he did not spar 6 weeks, 7 weeks, no sparring. And it was just a lot of stuff that went wrong. The training camp was trash at the end of the day. But regardless of all of that, Bud was disciplined and he deserved and earned his W. Clip that. There's no excuses. The man said it himself. Regardless of all of that, Bud came, did his thing, showed up and showed the F out. So for all my people saying that Errol is giving out excuses, where's the excuse? He simply says, regardless, clip that. Bud was disciplined and he deserved and earned his W. Hey guys, I'm up out of here. Hey man, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hit that like button, hit that comment button. I'm going to rerun this episode tomorrow in the afternoon. And I'm going to rerun this episode probably like 2 or 3 times all day tomorrow, man. So my boy C Fluid says Crawford did dominate. Yeah, he did in orderly fashion. He did. He cooked my boy. I go lie to you. He cooked my boy. But I'm happy to see that he had the mental health break that he needed, the body time to heal, get his body right, his mind right, and then now I'm happy that he got the spark that he needed to come back in the sport of boxing, man. Yeah, man. So definitely, man. I appreciate you guys. I'm your host, LD the Kid. Hey, what's up, guys? This your boy LD
The Kid.
and you tuning into Likeable Dialogue. Make sure you hit that like, comment, and subscribe button if you like the content. Appreciate you guys. Hey guys, that part of the segment was called subscriber questions, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to press the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed, and don't forget to press the like button so everybody can participate in that, right? Press the like button, please. That helps the channel grow, okay? And listen, don't forget to press that subscribe button. Great show. Thank you guys. It's your boy LD,
The Kid.
and you tuning into Likeable Dialogue. Press that subscribe button and stay tuned for more on Likeable Dialogue. Likeable Dialogue. Y'all hit that like, comment, and subscribe button, y'all. Appreciate you guys. I'm up out of here.